In the Trika tradition of Kashmir Shaivism, the ultimate reality is a state of pure, vibrating consciousness, rejecting an inert void or passive observer. This presents a central paradox. If the baseline of reality is perfectly unified and absolute, how does it generate the fragmented, dualistic universe we see around us? The problem extends to language. Human speech relies on discursive words to label things, yet those labels seem incapable of accurately describing an absolute reality that defies division. The philosophers Abhinavagupta and Somananda bridged this gap through the concept of vak, the word. Within this tradition, speech acts as the fundamental ontological substrate of the universe. To understand reality in the Trika system, we cannot look at physics. We must trace the acoustic consciousness of the word as it emanates into physical reality. The evolution of reality occurs through a specific four-tiered architecture of emanation. This process traces the descent of the universe from a supreme, timeless state down into the world of corporeal articulation. These stages are not historical eras, but ever-present layers of existence. The top layer represents total subjectivity. The bottom layer represents total objectivity, while middle levels govern the transition. Analyzing these four tiers from the top down allows us to decode how the human mind connects to the physical universe. At the absolute bedrock of the model sits Paravak, the supreme word. Paravak is uncreated, eternally present, and identical to pure, undifferentiated light. It corresponds to the self-reflective awareness of this light, a state that exists entirely before any human concept of speech. Abhinavagupta describes the internal state of Paravak as an ecstatic wonder or thrill of joy. Cosmologically, it contains all future phonemes, objects, and actions simultaneously, held as a singular, indivisible seed. This unified, timeless bedrock acts as the master blueprint. Without it, the subsequent layers of reality would have no foundational grounding. The second stage is Pashyanti, the visionary word, marking the first step towards cosmic manifestation. Manifestation begins here via a precognitive impulse, specifically the power of will or intent. This is not yet discursive thought, but what Abhinavagupta defines as a subtle murmur or kinetic ideation. Somananda illustrates this using a potter. Before formulating the specific sentence, "I will make a pot," the potter experiences a holistic, non-verbal intuition of the act. We experience a similar synthetic awareness when racing through a book, where we grasp the meaning before we have the time to distinctly utter the words in our minds. At this stage, pure subjectivity dominates. The object is perceived only as the internal desire to create. Pashyanti serves as the kinetic bridge, translating the stillness of the supreme word into the raw energy required for thought. We transition now to the third stage, Madhyama, the intermediate word, marking the shift from undifferentiation into the realm of the intellect. This is the exact moment linguistic division occurs in the cosmos. We now have a split between the expressing sign, the word, and the expressed object, the concept of the thing. At this stage, both the sign and the object are strictly mental constructs, lacking physical form. In the intellect, the mental word and the mental blueprint of the object intermingle through a process called superimposition, occupying the exact same space. This domain comprises the realm of inner speech and intentional thought constructs. Madhyama acts as the cognitive translation layer, holding language and reality perfectly together before they are projected into the physical world. Finally, we reach Vaikari, the corporeal word, representing the total descent into the sphere of objectivity. Vaikari is the realm of articulated human speech and actual physical sound waves, defined by strict physical division, by chronological sequence, and the limitations of time. Vaikari is the tangible physical world that we experience every day, representing the final expression of the emanation process. If words and physical objects are separate entities in the physical world, how do we ever reliably attach them to each other? Abhinavagupta found the proof in how a child learns language. If teaching a child relied only on the separated sounds and objects of the corporeal world,
It would trigger an impossible, infinite regress of explanations. The child succeeds because they inherently possess the intermediate layer within their intellect, where the word and object are already perfectly superimposed. Human language functions accurately because our individual intellects are continually tapped into the ontological substrate of the universe. These 4 stages are not sequential historical events. They are the co-present layers operating behind every conscious act. For Abhinavagupta, tracing the origin of a spoken word effectively reverse engineers the emanation of the cosmos. In the Trika system, language constitutes the territory of reality itself.